Let's talk to Noah. Noah, who is calling in from Oklahoma. Noah, how's it going?
Good. Yeah. Can you? Am I too loud?
No, you're not too loud. You sound just fine. How's it going?
Good. Yeah. So I have some things. I was actually thinking recently, similar to what you guys were. I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson post on Instagram. What would the world be like if there wasn't like religion in it? Which I thought was interesting. What do you guys think about that?
Well, like I can't say what he posted about. I can't say like speak to that. I think I put Neil in this category of people who are just like who put all the world's blames on religion, which I'm not gonna lie, it's responsible for a lot of harm, but it's not everything. It can't and probably won't ever be everything. So I'm always a bit skeptical about it. Do I think the world would be a better place without it? Well, like categorically, maybe yes. Like there are some things that religion does do good. We don't always like to talk about it, and we sometimes downplay the benefits, but like it does give people a sense of life purpose. It does give people a sense of community, and people tend to thrive on that. People who don't have those things can fall into depression, can fall into other kinds of ailments, and there isn't always easy to build secular institutions to replace those things. Doesn't mean they can't exist though, and that's why we have institutions like the Atheist Community of Austin, because we want to build those institutions. But when you're in that transitionary phase, for sure, when you don't know how to navigate the world without having that perspective, then yeah, it's definitely harmful. I don't know, Johnny, what do you think?
I think that we would have different kinds of magical thinking.
Yeah,
right. We'd have those crystals and astrology and things like that, but we wouldn't have dogmatic, religious, branded magical thinking. We wouldn't have dogmatic, religious, branded prejudice and selfishness and racism and sexism and other kinds of crummy phobias.
Sure.
But we wouldn't have people able to use fairy tale stories as their excuses for why they don't like certain groups of people. But we wouldn't.
Exactly.
But we'd still have other problems.
That's true. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but like look at like the history of people's use of Darwinism, right? People use Darwinism, which is a quote unquote scientific concept, quote unquote, because it has scientific applications, but it was used towards social policy, right? So instead of saying like, for example, women are beneath men because the Bible says so, it's women are beneath men because the natural social hierarchy dictates that, right? Like people will still use these kinds of naturalist ways of reasoning for exactly that kind of stuff. So you can still get to prejudice, you can still get to oppression through secular means, but at least I don't know, maybe it's easier to dismantle that than it is with religion. I don't know.
Well, caller, Noah, what say you?
I think we wouldn't really be able to tell for sure if things would be better or not. I think people would still try to use different things to, dictate oppression. So maybe there would be less oppression, but I still think people always try to use their own personal beliefs as a weapon and as a tool.
Yeah, they do.
What I'm trying to get into today, which is what SCOTUS has been doing, and also, we're seeing a struggle for power within the Supreme Court right now, and the president just issued like an executive order to try to protect women's rights, but we don't know if that's really going to do that much. I support what Biden just did, but we're just seeing a huge struggle for power right now for theocracy, and I'm fully against theocracy. So I'm wondering what you guys think of that.
Oh, well, I'll say this. We got here because of actions and inactions, effective actions and ineffective actions. So that's vague, but the way out of this is to get out there. Don't just protest, but protest. Don't just talk up a storm on social media. Get your ass to the voting booths. Call representatives that you want to get involved with, and or at least work for them. Vote with your dollar. Get engaged, because it's cool that we have this. Was it collectivism? What's the phrase that we've got? I've been on this a bit on my little Facebook page. I posted some links to what you can do right now to push back against this Christian nationalism that is experiencing a little bit of a day in the sun. And so quit complaining about it. If you don't have cash, give your time. If you don't have time, give your creativity. It'll take some time, and get moving on it. Use your hands, not like in a violent way, but in a constructive way. That's what you can do. We do this. I donate some dough, a little bit of dough. What's that?
Yeah. I'm saying, what I think is like voting is like the least you can do. On top of voting is you can go reach out to like your local governors and senators in your state and like issue like complaints and different things and try to get change to happen. Voting is great, but there's always other things you could do in your local communities to stand out too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not just saying you vote, but I'm saying if there's a phone bank, volunteer for it. If there's a door-to-door campaign, do it. If there's a lot of organizations are already doing it. And again, like, don't reinvent the wheel. Find out organizations that stand for your beliefs and see where they need the assistance. Money, time, resources, people, and do that. And we'll see some change. That's my thought.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. No, that was great. Topic conversation. Obviously, we all want to know about more ways we can effectively create change. Any last comments before we move on to any other callers?
Yeah. Do you guys think that we'll see more theocratic movements from the Supreme Court? Do you think they're going to try to overturn Obergefell versus Hodges?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Justice Clarence Thomas did explicitly say in his opinion that Obergefell was one of the cases he wanted to look at, along with a couple of other ones that do affect the rights of, well, everybody, specifically in communities like the LGBT community as well. So yes, I think it's very possible. Anybody that says otherwise must have forgot that we just lost our rights to abortion. Right. So that was a shock. I mean, that for a lot of people was something that nobody thought could happen. And it has. So why should I just say, oh, yeah, this other stuff will never happen? Right. There's no precedent for me to believe that at this point. It seems like they have expressly stated an intention for this to happen. And the Supreme Court, and the way that it currently operates, they totally can. There's nothing that could stop them from doing it. You could lobby for it. You can push senators to move stuff for specific states. But if they reverse those decisions, then those will go back to states' rights issues. And that means that it is going to be handled by a state-by-state level. So it sucks. And don't know how to do anything about that. But no, I do appreciate you calling in and giving your perspective on that.
Thanks a lot, Noah. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. Really sad, because I don't want to be a doomer. And Johnny just gave a great speech about things you can do to get involved. And there's always change that you can make happen. But as far as legal precedents in this country, how we create and shape our laws, the people that are in power right now aren't interested in doing it in ways that may not represent the best interests of most of us in this country. Without advocating for things that I can't legally advocate for, direct action on a platform like this, that I definitely just can't say. The most that we can say is, well, you have to talk to other people, consider voting who you want to vote for, and go from there.